My name is Edis Bosch. I'm a journalist and a foreign affairs analyst, and it is my great pleasure to open this international conference on the Baltic pathway towards low carbon and climate resilient development. With the help of other colleagues, I will be your moderator for today. Bearing in mind everything that is going on with regard to tackling the challenge of climate change, and a lot of things are going on internationally, on the global stage, on the European level, on the national level as well, but also subnationally in our households and businesses. So a lot of things are going on, and it is therefore particularly timely and very important for us to be here. And I'm actually truly amazed at the organizers who have been able to put together such an ambitious agenda for our 1.5 days together. So many high-level participants, so many speakers and experts from a wide array of countries and organizations. Most of them are present here, and you will be hearing from them. Some will join us via the video link. So it is going to be really a challenge. If you look at the agenda, you'll recognize that as well. It is going to be a challenge to navigate through such a packed agenda, but hopefully it is going to be very rewarding. Before I begin, I have a letter here that I need to read out loud in Latvian. By the way, simultaneous translation is available back and from English and Latvian for those who need it. So the letter here is from Raimons Vējonis, the President of the Republic of Latvia, a lifelong member of the Green Party. He used to be the Minister of Environment, so the climate challenge is something that is close to his heart as well. So here are his greetings.
Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, participants to this conference, I'd like to congratulate you and greet you to this Baltic Pathway towards Low Carbon and Climate Resilient Development Conference. Climate change is one of the main threats of today. The negative impact is visible in all countries, including Latvia. We see climate changes and that's impact every day. Nowadays, climate change is not only the problem of environment, it's already a problem of all economy. And mostly those are caused by increased use of fossil fuels. We cannot afford to ignore climate change impact on global security. Desertification, flooding, and other threats push people and motivate people to look for solutions. There is also migration, terrorism risks, and in order to tackle these problems, we have to work on these questions permanently. We have to work together on climate change in order next generations can live sustainably on this planet. In the spring of 2017, Latvia ratified Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement foresees joint work of all countries in order to limiting climate change, as well as adaptation to climate change and investments in low-carbon economy and climate resilience. Latvia has committed to reduce climate emission gases by 40% by the year 2030 as compared to 1990. There are other group of emissions which should be reduced by 6% by 2030 as compared to 2005. This is a lot, but if we plan, if we act timely, then we can achieve this. Latvia has committed to commit and fulfill Paris agreements. I wish you all successful conference, and I wish you find solutions here in Latvia and also Baltic states and other countries to find the best solutions for adaptation and climate change. Thank you very much. Sincerely, Raimons Vējonis.
That says, you're all welcome tonight for drinks at my place. Oh no, I just made it up. Sorry, could not resist. Okay, good. Thank you to the President for sending the note. There are many supporters and benefactors whose assistance made this conference possible. I'd like to give the floor now to the Ambassador of Norway to Latvia, Steinar Egil Hagen. Welcome, Ambassador.
Minister, Deputy Minister, Parliamentary Secretaries, Ambassador, and distinguished guests, both from internationally and from here in Latvia. We're not just a financier, but we're also a very keen supporter of climate change efforts and international cooperation. As we know, today's conference is to encourage changes and to promote vision and action. This is an important priority for my government. In June 2016, Norway became one of the first countries to ratify the Paris Agreement on climate change, and at the same time the Norwegian government approved the goal of achieving climate neutrality already by 2030 through EU emissions trading market, international cooperation on emission reductions and project-based cooperation, a very ambitious goal. This is to be achieved through a mix of efforts both domestically and abroad. There are consensus in my country on a number of measures that have to be implemented. Most of them are domestically. There will be a new fund for climate, renewable energy and energy restructuring, implementing climate and technology investments. We will phase out fossil heating oil, stricter requirements on the building sector, continue to increase climate research, maintaining or increasing carbon stores in the forests, contributing to developing biogas in Norway, promoting public transport and bicycling and reducing the use of cars. And we have a very proactive tax system in order to get more environmental friendly and climate friendly vehicle fleet. We are one of the world leaders when it comes to electrical cars. I noticed here in Riga more and more electrical cars, and take it from me, they are here to stay, and there will be more electric cars also in the Baltics in the years to come. This is a new process that is only going to increase. We are a world leader when it comes to, one of the world leaders when it comes to climate funding. We need international solutions for reducing climate and reducing emissions. Through the United Nations, through bilateral issues, we help developing countries to reduce deforestation, we expand renewable energy, and we adapt to climate changes. Climate funding is important in order to achieve trust in the climate negotiations among the populations in many countries. We are not a member of the EU, but we are part of the internal market through the EEA agreement we have with the EU. We contribute to social and economic development in the European Economic Area and 16 member states through the EEA Norway grants. In the Baltic countries, we've been active since they joined the EU in 2004, and environment and climate issues have been among the main priorities. The EEA Norway grants have the basis in the EEA agreement, and our objective is to reduce disparities within the Union and also to strengthen the bilateral relations. In total, the framework of EEA Norway grants, Norway, together with our partner countries, Iceland and Liechtenstein, have provided more than 3 million euros through the grant schemes from 1994 up to today. Climate and environment is also one of the priorities of the grants, and the objectives of this conference is also at the heart of these mechanisms. We have been targeting climate change in the Baltics in the previous mechanisms, and we will also do that in the future. In the current program, over 400 million euros have been targeting projects related to climate change and environment in the beneficiary states. For Norway, the EEA grants and national policy program in Latvia has been a very high priority. I'm very pleased with the cooperation with the Ministry of Regional Ministry here in Latvia. The Norwegian Directorate for Civil Protection and the Norwegian Environment Agency have been cooperating closely with the Ministry of Environmental Protection and Regional Development of Latvia. And the Norwegian Environment Agency is present here today, as is a member from the representative from the Norwegian Ministry of Environment, who later will talk about the electric cars I mentioned. Norway is committed to international efforts to tackle climate change, and this year we also hold the presidency of the Nordic Council of Ministers, where this is a priority issue. Our aim is to contribute to a green, competitive and inclusive Europe. We have now signed with Estonia for the next MOU for EEA grants, and we will sign soon with Latvia, I hope, and also Lithuania. So we will cooperate very strongly with the Baltic states in this area. And this is also the core of this conference. I'm very pleased to see distinguished representatives from the neighboring countries here. And we hope that we can together make a difference, and I hope that we can all inspire each other on this important issue today. So welcome to this conference. Thank you.